At the very core of streetwear, it is a close-knit gathering of like-minded people who are using their clothing, their uniforms, to express themselves. Like clockwork, dedicated fans queue up and purchase these items, standing in line for hours, and it's either this or fighting against online bots to purchase the clothing from the comfort of your own bed. However, only the quickest make it through, as most items sell out in a matter of seconds. But what previous cultures can be drawn in comparison to this one, and have they ever had such cult followings? The mods in the 1960s were one of the first generations after the war to have disposable income, and this was soon spent on tailor-made suits, wool jumpers and Chelsea boots. None of this clothing was cheap, so being a mod definitely took money, and this is a direct comparison that can be made to the subculture that we have today. Then came along the punks in the 1970s, and this was not the first youth-driven fashion trend, however it was the first that came with a strong political voice. It was very much anti-establishment, and along with it came a very unique fashion style. This style was a do-it-yourself, cheap clothing look, mainly comprised of dark colours. Jumping forward to the 1980s and the rise of football hooligans, there was once again a trend that was lost in the punk era. This was a feeling of a lot more disposable income that was spent on a select number of brands such as Lyle & Scott, Fila, Sergio Tacchini and Stone Island, which all encapsulated the look of the casuals. Brands such as these all produced clothes with bright, garish colours to represent certain football teams and just to stand out from the rest. Emo was a trend in the early 2000s that came from humble roots and was started by a bunch of bored kids in suburban American basements before evolving into a fully blown subculture and sweeping across the globe years later. Its fashion style was similar to the punks due to the dark colours contrasted with bright ones such as purple and pink. Emo turned out to be the last subculture to go global before social media turned the world upside down, and fast forward 14 years and instead of angsty rock music, it's rare streetwear that kids are lining up for. The godfather of streetwear brands is Supreme, founded by an Englishman, James Jabir. Working in the New York fashion scene during his late teens, he scraped up enough money to open up his own shop, Union. However, when his partner pulled out of the shop, Jabir himself opened up Supreme in 1994. The store had an open plan design so skaters could skate in from the street. From here onwards, Supreme grew by constantly working with new designers and celebrities, but still keeping their stock very limited. It wasn't until 2009 that they started releasing lookbooks, and it was in 2013 that they first opened a European web store. Supreme now has stores in Tokyo, Paris and London. Another one of these streetwear brands is Palace. Palace is a fairly young UK brand founded in 2011 by Lev Tanchik. The brand's clothes were designed and photographed by friends of his, which keeps the brand tight-knit and family-like. Over-the-top design mixes references to 90s British culture, collaborations with brands such as Adidas and Reebok, and a sense of unique patriotism is what gives Palace its unique selling power and has almost put it on a par with Supreme today. Consumers always wonder about why they release such limited stock when they know that they can sell more. The brands do this to keep such exclusivity and to keep fans hungry for more and more clothing. When these clothes inevitably sell out in a matter of seconds, they are put into the resale market. The brands don't endorse this, but Jawaya has said in the past, kids can go and sell them afterwards, that's up to them, that's their deal. And kids are doing exactly this and making a handsome profit from it as well. Going to a Supreme drop in London, I can see the subculture out in full force. Like every Thursday, everyone wears their best clothes, and I wanted to find out some of the views on men's streetwear and how come there's such a high demand for it.
I think it's like to do with more like the skater kind of thing, so I'm quite into that kind of like culture as well, so I quite like it, yeah, I enjoy it.
I feel that streetwear is like, you have to be your own person to wear it. You can't just like copy someone else, say, oh I like his outfit, then you go buy his stuff, but you have to like it and you actually feel like you want to wear it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good because there's like high fashion and there's also like streetwear that like normal people can actually buy and can more like most likely afford.
Obviously Supreme, Off-White, Palace. Palace is crazy. I fuck with Palace a lot.
It's going normal now. Everyone is wearing Supreme now. I think it's not for everyone because even who were wearing fake like last year now is going into the culture and stuff like that, and I don't really like it.
Where it's all about like the hype and like what's in today.
I like the scene, you know. I like the fact that a lot of young kids are getting into it early as well. Girls as well too, you know, flexing the garms as well, posting on Instagram. And you get to see them rock it here as well, so it's quite nice. Although it can be costly still, because, you know, sometimes you end up spending a lot of money than you were expecting. So that could cause problems, but overall I like it. It's quite nice.
So yeah, I'm into streetwear because streetwear fashion is like the easiest way to get into fashion. It is like the cheaper route to take. Like you can wear loads and loads of upcoming streetwear brands because they're everywhere now, and just rock that. So that's why I go into streetwear, because it's the cheaper route to get into fashion, because then you go into high fashion.
It looks nice, and definitely like I think it's like celebrity influence is one of the big things that a lot of people wear. One of the reasons, yeah.
Yeah, I don't look at brands. Basically, I like the design. If I like the design, I'll wear it straight away. I won't care about the brand.
I like the clothes, and I skate a tiny bit. So
I like to fit well, you know what I mean? Yeah, also it's lit. Everything is lit.
It was probably like when I was like young, I wore like a lot of like fashion, like probably like H&M, Zara, because it was like easy to buy and you can access it anywhere.
Yeah, I used to shop at Zara, H&M, Adidas stuff. But now with this streetwear stuff coming up, and I like the design, I kind of ease into it slowly.
okay, I used to wear like H&M, like everyone likes H&M, and then a bit of Primark before. Like I didn't know anything, so I just wore like, I remember at prom I wore a full Primark suit. It was like, no, legit, it was like 20, 25, 30 pounds. I was like really happy. I was like, yo, people with Versace suits, they're stupid, man. My suit looks exactly the same. Mine's 30. Like, yeah, it's all good, but nah, it's H&M kind of, yeah, most likely.
I was wearing, you know, like Thrasher, all the stuff. Also a lot of Champion. Yeah, and I was going for, you know, DC, Quicksilver, Billabong, all old school stuff.
Always about streetwear, like Stussy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or maybe Nike tracksuit. I'm always like wearing tracksuits, streetwears and stuff like that.
Not really streetwear, but like I started off with like Kenzo, and then I started to like more and more, and then I go over to like Hellas and then Supreme. So, yeah.
I got into streetwear young. Before then, I just used to rock normal clothes, H&M.
I legit wore whatever my parents bought me.
Yeah.
Legit, like my parents would fund my clothing and this and that. And then like 2 years ago, when I kind of started, I started funding myself. A year ago, when I probably started filming vlogs.
The majority of it I wear them, and then for some of them I get them from my friends in Hong Kong.
I wear mostly all my stuff. I don't really do resale here.
I wear most of the clothes I buy, of course.
Depends. I have a few friends that they buy from me, but if it's cool lit, I will keep it for me, obviously. I mean, you already know that.
Yeah, of course, no. I'm always buying to keep it. And I'm not always buying. Like today was a dead drop. Last week I bought the Thrasher one. I really liked it. And then, yeah, I just bought what I like. Just buy what I like.
I buy it for myself mostly, like, and then some of them I buy from a friend, and like occasionally I just buy it just to sell it.
100%, like my lifestyle now is absolutely crazy.
Due to social media and things such as Facebook groups for people to discuss these brands, someone sitting at home alone can feel included in something along with tens of thousands of people. In an age of gaining validation through social media, these brands can reward that, and with the right people wearing it, constant but limited drops, and designs playing into the sportswear revival currently going on in the UK, these brands have a recipe for more future success. The streetwear scene has become much more than a place to buy clothes. Like nightclubs, football stadiums, skate park and concert venues, it's a place for people to feel simultaneously individual and part of something much, much bigger.